Welcome to the Jamodi podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. The Jamodi podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. What's one rule change that you would like to see happen and why?
Oh man, you opened up Pandora's box. I've got a lot. So patience is not a virtue of mine. So I think anyway, how can we speed the game up? To me, the game is entirely too slow. And we're a fast-moving, free-flowing game. So I've got a lot of ideas. A lot of these are going to be crazy. Number one, we max out free throws at one free throw. So if I get fouled in a three, it's a 1 for 3. If I get fouled in a layup, it's a 1 for 2. If it's an and one, I still get my one free throw. It's worth 1 point. I think the free throw line is I'm passionate. You're passionate. I do this for a living. I want to do this the rest of my life. And I'm bored out of my mind watching into games when teams are fouling.
No doubt.
So what about an average fan? We're trying to get more fans. Like, are you kidding me? They're
Yep.
And then in this social media age, like, we have to grab their attention and keep their attention. Here's another crazy one. I think anytime the ball goes out of bounds on the sideline, ref doesn't have to touch it. You just get that thing, and like a lot like ultimate basketball, they'll get it. The official has to make the call. And then once the official makes the call, get that thing and we're throwing it in. And let's play it.
I did that. I played that way in an adult league one time. They said on the sideline, you just get it and you go. You got to be out of bounds, but there's a way, and you can't run down the sideline with it, but there was a way for us to steal a couple points if defense wasn't transitioning back. So you talk about making those slow transitions quicker, shorter. That's a great way.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think on the men's side in college, I would like us to go to the women's rules. So the women have 4 quarters, and the last minute of each half, you can advance the ball. I'd love to see that, where you can advance it on a timeout. You can advance the ball. Another thing, I'd like to go to a 24-second shot clock for college.
Definitely.
And those are some of my thoughts. Definitely. But the main one is free throws. I think we should max out a free throw at 1. There's just too much time wasted.
I love all those. Do you think we could also move them down to the high school level?
I think so. Yeah. Why not? Why? I think it makes it easier for officials if they're not having to go over there and hand the ball every time. And now your officials have to be in a little bit better shape. But how much more fun would that be as a fan? Like the ball's out of bounds, boom, they're getting it and they're coming down and yanking a 3 or getting a layup or a dunk. That's a lot of fun to watch.
What were a few things from the COVID years that, not the mask wearing, obviously, but from the game standpoint, what were some of those changes that you liked that we did during that time? Or were there any?
So give me some examples, Matt.
There's one for me that I'm thinking about, post-game handshakes. We went away from them because we didn't want to be close to each other, shake hands, even though we just played against each other for an hour. I love that. Like, I don't mind myself, especially if I have a relationship with that coach, shaking a hand and stuff, but the players, I don't see the point.
Yeah, in our league, that's funny. I never thought about that. In our league, I think we fist bumped, but we still did the handshake line. So really, to be honest with you, in our league, there was nothing during COVID much different except the coaches had to wear the mask. I can't tell you how many times I got warned that year from our conference commissioner. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'll pull my mask up more.
That's right.
But I don't miss anything from the COVID years, to be honest. That was not a fun time.
Another good change that we did too was we didn't have water jugs at the end of the bench because they had to bring their own water. We weren't sharing waters at all. And for me, that helped too, because I don't know how many times the JV game's about to start. Coach, we don't have any cups. I have to run to Target. This is high school problems, I guess, but I have to run to Target and get cups for the thing. And the Target cups aren't the same cups that have to go in that thing. So I just stacks on top. Coach, it's 2022. This year, we still don't do water jugs. If you come to Grapevine Faith, you better bring your own water. And that's been huge. That's been huge.
You guys are rocking the red Solo cups from Target, man.
That's huge stacks of them just on. And then it never fails to the little knobs on. See, you got me going. The little knobs on those water jugs break off. So all of a sudden in the game, there's just a stream of water going onto the floor and a kid over there trying to stop it up. Never again.
Oh, even like I've noticed on those when you press those Gatorade jugs, it does spray out. It's even hard to get it in a.
You got to have a towel down. That whole place is wet. It's just ridiculous. We can be better.
You have to.
See, that's funny that your adjustments like make sense to the game. Mine are silly, and or just something that I like that came out of that. But one thing we do at halftime is, and this actually happened years ago before COVID. I was at we were at a tournament, and the locker room was so far away from the floor. So I just said, guys, get in a circle with chairs. You guys talk a little bit first, and me and coach will come in. And I was standing there with my assistant coach, watching them as a team talk about the game. And one, I loved it. Like I loved just getting to stand there and kind of watch it. And then I would come in and I'd grab one of the chairs. I'd sit in this little circle and I'd say, hey, all right, what did you guys think? What'd you talk about? And I'd hear with their thoughts. But then more importantly, it saved the 30 seconds to go in the locker room. And then it saved the 30 seconds back. So we were out shooting with 5 or 6 minutes left in the halftime. That's something that we still do. Even at a home game, we will not go back in our locker room. We'll just stay out there. And it's my favorite part of the game now.
Yeah, no, that's a phenomenal idea. To be honest with you, I think the hardest struggle when I went from college to high school is that the half times are essentially half the time. They go from 15 minutes to 8. So like I never got my guys out in time to get shots up. And how important, like what's more important for them to feel good about their jumper and their game, or for them to hear me talk about how we're not rotating on defense or some adjustment they probably can't execute on the fly anyways. I love that. And we do the same thing with our guys, letting them talk. We're very intentional. We're going to give them a few minutes. But one thing I'm going to add that you just talked about it, I've never asked them, hey, what did you discuss? You know, what's going on? I need to, that's a great enhancement. I'm going to add to mine as well. But we're intentional too. We try to get our guys out with at least 5 minutes so they can shoot or whatever makes them comfortable, you know, stretching, shooting, getting their body going.
Because you and I played. And so I do feel like when we watch the game, we can put ourselves into their shoes a little bit, but we're not there. Like we're not doing it. And so how often, I wonder, do I come in with 3 points that one, either they've already discussed or they get it, you know, or they bring up things that, man, that's a really good point. Like, or I realize things that they're struggling with in the game or where they're off really on where we need to be on. And so it has been helpful for me a ton.
Absolutely. And how many of us, like if you were to play and I was to tell you, hey, Matt, you're going to go sit, we're going to play a pickup game. You're going to sit for 15 minutes straight, or that's college, or 8 minutes in high school. And then you're not going to shoot a shot. I'm going to ask you to come right out and play the next pickup game. You're not going to be any good.
No.
But how many times, and I'm very guilty of this, how many times do we do that with our players and expect them to perform at a high level at the start of the second half? That's ludicrous on our part.
I always thought too, a little bit of a mental edge where let's just say we're beating them down with our shooting already. Well, hey guys, when they come out of the locker room, I want them to see you doing what we call Yates shooting 4 spots and going hard. And like, to me, it's a little bit of like, crap. Like, did they even talk at all? They're already out there shooting. Like, I kind of like that. I don't know if it actually happens, but I like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.